Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Welcome to Perfectly Twisted with Dave Palais and myself, Nicole Eggert. How's it going, Dave?
Everything's good. It's a little bit warm. I mean, I know if you're outside of Southern California, you think we're babies, but we pay for weather without humidity, and it's been a little bit humid.
Well, it's pretty dry here in LA. I have to be honest. It kind of feels a bit like Vegas when you're leaving a building
Yeah.
and you go out and it's like that oven, like when you open the oven door it's at 350 and your eyebrows get all hot. That's what it feels like walking out of the building
Oh
here.
my
But
God. In San Diego, I'm feeling humidity. Like
oh, you
I've
are?
never made empanadas in my life, but I think today's the day.
Today's the day.
That's the
Today
way it's
is
gonna
the
go.
day for empanadas.
Yes.
So yesterday I was shooting all the Access shows. They have the Access Daily and Access Hollywood. And Disney did not they did not budget for me to have a makeup person.
No
And
way.
I know. It's just like, and the thing, and this is such a lesson to me. This is, I deserve every second of this, I suppose. I said, okay, I can do my own makeup. I really can. I'm going down the street to Universal. I'm going into the studio. I'm going to shoot 2 shows. What? I'm going to be there a couple hours max. I can do this. I said, I just need a makeup person there to put my eyelashes on because at 52 years old, I still don't, I can do my own makeup, but I don't put lashes on because I've just never been one to wear them. And so
Okay.
it's not something I've ever needed. And now I need them. Never done the extensions, the fake eyelashes. That's just never been me. So I say I need that. Thinking like no big deal, right? So
Yeah.
I go in, she puts them on, they look great, everything. I can feel that my eyes are sticking together a bit, like the
Oh
glue
no.
has gone amiss, right? My eyes are blurry, but I'm doing this without my glasses anyways, so I'm already blind, so what's a little extra blur? And I can just power through it, Nicole. So we shoot the first one, which is Access Daily with Mario, and it's a fun show. It's easy. It goes great. Then they say, "Oh, we're gonna go shoot Access Hollywood," but it's like up the hill at Universal. And then
Okay.
so now we exit the building into that heat, get in a car, drive up the hill, get out of the car into that heat, and have to make our way down City Walk to the studio. I'm like, what? Who the hell puts their studio up here? So we get
Yeah.
in there, and then we wait a while, and then I shoot that one. And then I go home and I walk in and my daughter goes, "Oh, you look pretty." And then she goes, "Wait, what is going on with your makeup?" And I'm like, "What?" She goes, go look in the mirror." I kid you not. I look in the mirror and I'm like, holy fuck, what happened to me? And I've got 2 black lines coming down out the corners of my eyes, like down my cheeks. I'm like, what in the sweet lady baby Jane is going on right here? The glue had seeped and collected the black eyeliner, and my eyes were watering and pushing out the glue.
Yeah.
So I had black eyelash glue coming out of the corners of my eyes. Like I look like
And
Robert Smith from The Cure gone
Alice
wrong. Like
Cooper.
old lady, huh? Alice Cooper.
Alice
I'm
Cooper.
like, yes, that's who I look like. That's perfect. Old person with crazy eye makeup. Horrified. I couldn't even get it off because it was the glue. This morning, I still have eyelash glue making its way out of my eyes. Something always goes wrong on an interview or something. Very rarely does it all go super smooth. But when it's your face that's gone
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah.
it's the second worst thing to like saying something horrible, right? Like, are you joking? So that's going to be interesting to watch in the high def.
Nobody said anything, huh? Like while it was
Not
going on,
one
like this
fucking
isn't
person
normal.
said anything. Not one goddamn motherfucker said anything. Like, girl, go look in the mirror. Nobody said anything. I'm pissed.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, never
You
again.
should be. You should be upset. You aren't
And
crazy on this
there
one.
was a mirror where you could like check yourself. What?
Yeah.
It's gonna do me no good. I have no glasses on and eyelash glue
Yeah.
in my face. I can't
Yeah.
see anything. So
Yeah.
I couldn't. Oh yeah. What a
Oh,
shit
that
show.
sucks.
And I had done such a good job on my makeup. Like even the makeup lady who wasn't budgeted to do my makeup, but just only
Yeah.
to do my lashes, she was like, "Oh, good job." I mean, I really like, I really did a good job for it all to go to hell.
Oh my gosh. And the second you walk in, you got basically a 12-year-old telling you, hey,
Yeah,
it doesn't look good.
yeah. 13-year-old. 13 years. She goes, wait.
13-year-old. I'm sorry.
Yeah, at first it was like, at
Yeah.
first from afar, you're pretty. And then she goes, wait. I was like, oh my God, what?
Uh, I can't believe that. That nobody, you think there people are afraid to say something, or
Yeah.
like I always wonder what the angle is. I have this thing with my friends, like true friends, where I say, let's just get this out of the way now. If any of us ever have anything in our teeth, we have to tell each other. If anyone has something in their nose, anything, no one's hurting feelings. But if I go home and see there was something in my teeth the entire day, I'm going to kill all of you guys. Yeah. Like I literally have an arrangement with all my friends of this is the way it's going to go.
Well, you
That's
think
not
it
cool.
should be that way. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
said a thing. And
Yeah.
I'm just pissed. I'm annoyed
I
and
would
I'm
be too.
pissed. Yeah. It's a
That's all right. It's not
damper.
like, yeah, it's not like it wasn't national television or people aren't going to watch it. It's not like you haven't
I
had a bad year.
know.
I mean, good God.
And
Yeah, thanks.
and my manager was there with me and I'm like, how close did they go in? Like how tight? And she thinks that the second interview, which I'm supposing I'm assuming the makeup was the worst on. She's like, they didn't go in too close, but I don't know how you do an interview without doing a close up. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just praying that they didn't. I'm praying it was all from afar.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Damn.
just, and on top of like, I've gained so much weight from treatment.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. I can't like I can't work out. I'm
Yeah.
trying. I go for like really hard walks, but I can't
Yeah.
get very far because my back and my
Yeah.
right leg just give out.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to go like a little bit farther each day. And so I made it up to a mile the other day. And then
Wow.
I thought, yeah, which was, for
I'm
me,
not.
I
No.
usually,
I'm not being a smart ass at all because you told a story about how hard it was just to walk stairs a couple weeks ago.
yeah. So I made it a mile, which I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
it took me about a week to get up to a mile, but I did. So the next day I thought I was all fancy pants and I tried to jog a little and my my body was like, "Oh no, lady. Oh
Yeah. Where you
no,
going?
no, no." And that right knee was like locked out cuz my knees lock since chemo. My left hand and my knees will just lock. It's
Yeah.
just bizarre, it's weird, and it just does it. And so it did that. It was like, "You are not allowed to run," because my joints are weak from the chemo, and then I have
Of
all this
course.
extra weight, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
40 pounds I gained.
Yeah.
40. And, my body just can't my body's like, "What?" So I'm trying to just eat protein and vegetables and, really trying to, like, raise my heart rate as often as I can throughout the day, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting anywhere. So I was at the doctor yesterday, and I was like, "Can I take Mounjaro? Can I
Yeah.
take a semaglutide?" Um,
What did they
and they
say?
were kinda like, "Let's wait, let's wait, let's wait." And I'm like, "Fucking I need to, like, work. Nobody's gonna hire
Yeah.
me at this weight. I feel like shit at this weight." And for a while, I didn't care because when I was going through treatment, I was
Yeah.
very much about just appreciating my body,
Exactly.
that it was doing its job for me, it was working for me. And I still feel that way. I really
Yeah.
do. But not one pair of pants in my closet fit, not one.
Oh,
Which is, it's just disheartening
it
and
is
it's
depressing.
frustrating, like when we have all this press to do, but I have nothing. I can't pull anything out of my closet. Nothing fits. I was like trying to put a jacket on and I was like, couldn't get the other arm through. I was like, oh my God. It's a shit show
I
over
don't mean to
here.
laugh, but
No,
holy
it's
cow! Yeah.
funny. It
Hey, you
is.
know
It's
what?
like, and then I got stuck and I was like, Keegan had to pull the arm to get my
Oh
arm out
no.
of it. Yeah, it's that kind of stuff.
And this is funny, is like there's certain times of the year I think where, and people who live back east understand this too, where people put on weight during the wintertime because you can hide it. But when
Right.
you're in the summertime, it's one
So
of those
you can't
where
wear any
you
clothes.
can't hide it. Yeah, you can't hide it. I mean, you look like a fool wearing a hoodie, right? In August and September.
100%. And you
So,
feel
but
miserable because you're
yeah,
baking. Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, yeah, that stinks. Yeah, as again, as someone, who sits here and has go through a weekly journey with you, and then I know the listeners have too. Nobody, no one goes, "Oh, I can't believe she gained weight." What they do is they're just happy that you're on the road to recovery, and it's terrible right now, but in a year from now, I'm sure things will be, much better. Doctors always seem like they do want to hold back on whether it's Ozempic or whatever it is, when people go. And then like where I'm at in San Diego, I have a bunch of friends who will pay someone basically just to go over to the border, grab it, and bring it back, and they take it. I'm watching people drop like 23 pounds in 2 weeks. I mean, people
Yeah.
are like,
Wait, you know somebody? Can I get in on this?
everybody knows somebody in San Diego. And but I'm looking at my
Might have to
neighbors
talk
and
after
going,
the show. I need to
yeah.
know.
But people are getting it. I'm looking at my friends and I'm looking at their wives and I'm going, man, everybody's dropping weight like crazy,
Yeah. Well, it's
fast,
a
really
little bit
fast.
really fast and really great, and it's has so many health benefits. And so after my diagnosis, obviously it's very scary to put anything into your body,
Yeah.
right? So I've been doing my research on it, and it can in fact deter cancer from returning because
Wow.
cancer, like why men get breast cancer, is because you can make estrogen in your fat. It's
Yeah.
in your fat cells. So the less fat you have on your body, the less chances of all of this happening and a recurrence and all of that.
Yeah.
Also, it cuts down on heart disease. I just got my labs done. My cholesterol through the roof,
Really?
through the goddamn roof because of this weight gain, this sudden
Yeah.
weight gain. It's 8 months,
Yeah.
7 months of just weight gain. My cholesterol is crazy. So the semaglutide is really actually beneficial. What my doctors were saying, and it wasn't actually my doctor, it was the nurse practitioner, because unfortunately, I can't even tell you how packed my oncologist office was yesterday.
That's
I
sad.
was getting choked up. I was
Yeah.
getting like really emotional about it. I mean, it's a huge waiting room. Probably I would say 25 to 30 seats in there,
Yeah.
filled, standing room and out the hall. People coming in to meet with the oncologist. I mean, just
That's sad.
incredibly emotional. I was and so they were splitting taking patients, and since I'm on that end, not the beginning, I'm on the end, the nurse practitioner, but she was saying to hold off because um, I have to have surgery, and then after surgery I go on like hormone blockers, and she was
Okay.
thinking that it might be too much for the body. But I'm on the verge of like, yeah, that was just a precaution. That was like a yellow light in the intersection. You know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
not a green light. It was not a red light. That was a yellow light I got. And for me, the yellow light's a suggestion. It's not it's your judgment at that point. So I'm on the edge because now I'm dealing with high cholesterol and all this fat and all this
Yeah.
swelling. And I'm like, that can't be healthy. Like none of that is helping the situation, and it's not helping my nerves. It's not helping any of it. So it's not helping my happiness.
Let me
So
ask you, when obviously when you were doing Charles in Charge and Baywatch and you're in magazines and you're doing posters and all the stuff that was out there with you, and then here you are in your early 50s and you beat cancer, and I always wonder how many people even know that she just beat cancer, but when I watch, as I said, hurt people, is the line.
yeah.
It's does it become vicious? Like, as you've gone over the last, let's say, 30 years of your life, if you don't match the poster in their mind, does it become hard?
What's hard about it is that the paparazzi try to get you at your worst so that they can get that horrible picture.
Yeah.
The moment you breathe out, or the moment the wind blows,
Yeah.
just the moment that you look not right. So
Yeah.
if you're walking down the street and I'm just taking pictures of you, there's going to be some that look great and there's
Of
going to be
course.
some that look bad, right? They pick those bad ones and then they put
Yeah.
it next to, when you were at 19. That part of it, but I've kind of grown numb to that. I haven't got a lot of hate because of my weight gain from the cancer. I haven't. People have been really respectful and really
Good.
kind, and I've gotten a lot of love.
Good.
Mostly the only hate I've gotten since cancer is that it's karma for speaking out against my abuser. That's the
That's ridiculous.
only hate that I've been getting.
Yeah.
And it's not even that much. Like, you're crazy, and you're crazy for even taking the time to write that to me. So no, I think people are more happy for me than anything else, but it's a me thing. And like, I really want to I want to provide my body with its best chances. And to me, it's not being 40 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Because look, my cholesterol's through the roof. What am I beat cancer? Now I'm going to have a heart attack. They're going to
Oh
find
my
me
God.
out on the Chandler bike path,
Oh my
face
God.
down, had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want any of this. So this
Yeah.
is something I'm going to really look into. Like, how did people lose this weight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's again, I haven't taken any of the other stuff, but again, ton of my friends have, and it is amazing to see how quickly people's bodies are changing. It seems like I don't know. I can't tell your doctor what to do, but I mean, you
no,
gave
it's
8 million
fantastic.
points on why they should give you a chance to, hey, help me out here. You know, help me
Yeah,
out. My
for
knee
sure.
hurts. I'm having trouble walking a mile. I mean, I can't find a goddamn jacket to wear. Help me out. You know,
Yeah. And my doctor, my primary, like my general, she did want me to get on it, and she called it in, and my insurance declined it, denied me.
wow.
So, there's all of this going on, and
Yeah.
that's why I need to talk to you about your person over the border. But they say like it's controversial and there's not a lot of research, but that's not true. It's just like
Yeah.
with the vaccine, the COVID vaccine. There was the SARS research for this semaglutide. Diabetics have been on it for years,
Yep.
and there have been diabetics with cancer that have been
Yep.
taking it for years. So the research is there. It's not as like crazy as but there's obviously people not wanting it to feel so good because money's at stake, right? Like they
Yeah.
want you on pills, they want you on this, they want you on that, they want to keep you down, they don't want to admit that there's this amazing drug. But
So let me ask you, in the next week, you have a very exciting week coming up as far as, professionally, what's happening. What's going through your mind right now as you guys are kind of doing the countdown to, the release and people seeing what you've worked on? Or is the phone ringing for interviews? Is it what's going on in your life as far as getting ready for Baywatch?
it's kind of a nonstop thing. My schedule is packed every single day, all day long with press. If it's radio, podcast appearances, I'm nonstop. I head to New York on Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, I think. And it's nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. So my frame of mind is to just breathe and keep calm, and to not think about it. I just get up, get
Yeah.
ready, and then I just go where I'm told to go and, talk about what I'm here to talk about, and trying to not stress out about it. And I'm doing a pretty good job with that. If this was a few years ago, I would have been like, frantic mess, overwhelmed and stressed out and all that. Not anymore. I'm just like, it is
Good.
what it is. This is all good. This is all fun. This is all positive. People are loving the documentary because they do give screeners to the media. So every
Yeah.
time I go somewhere, they've seen it, and I get all the positive feedback, and behind the scenes, not on air feedback. I get like their true opinions. So it's been really fun, I have to say.
Good.
And it's been a labor of love because there's not a dollar to be made. Not a goddamn dollar to be made, only to be spent getting ready for all of it. But it's why we do this. It's
Yeah.
why I'm in this, and it's just, I don't know, it's fun. All of it's fun. It's not that serious.
I'm glad you're embracing it. It's funny as it's one of those where, as I said, I think the older we get, Keanu Reeves had a great line when he just said, I'm to the point in life where someone can come up to me and say 2 + 2 is 5. And I just go, okay.
Yeah,
And
sure.
that's, I think you and I are kind of a lot like that too, where maybe 10, 20 years ago, it would have driven us crazy and we would have fought back and fought a battle that just wasn't worth their energy. And now you just go, fuck it. You just kind of just
Yeah.
roll with the punches with so many things that you realize what's important in life and what's not important. Even the people that might write something negative, like I'll click on if someone says something to me and it'll be 17 followers. And then I'll look at their history and realize they just live a miserable life and they just have to take a shot. And none of that stuff affects me. It's,
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things that's so many things in life as you get older aren't great, like, health wise and family and stuff like that. But when you sit there and you can just let things that used to bother you not affect your life, it's so much easier,
So
you know?
much easier. And
Yeah.
I don't, it's something you sort of earn in life, right? Like, um, I mean, I had to put a lot of energy to get here. It's not something you just, maybe some people are born with it. Yeah, I know that they are. I wasn't. So it took a lot of work to get here. It took a lot of work,
Yeah.
a lot of years to get here. But man, it feels good, right? To just be like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever you say. Yeah, good to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm
If
glad you're going to New York. How long do you get a chance to stay in New York? I mean, the fact that you have family there.
well, they have me just like booked solid for just a few days there, but it's
Okay.
Labor Day weekend. So,
Oh, that's right.
I love it when work and personal life collide like this because
Yeah.
I haven't seen my older daughter in over a year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Um, it wasn't safe for me to be under the same roof as somebody
Yeah.
who just traveled, especially across the country. So we've not done that
Yeah.
because it was just too high risk. Because of course she would travel and jump right in bed with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and it's been over a year. So the fact that it all it's just collides like that is just that's what that's the magical part of this industry too, or of
Awesome.
life, right? When your work collides with your personal and it's beautiful. So I will take Keegan, and we
Good.
will go, and it's Labor Day weekend, so we'll stay that
Good.
weekend too. We'll stay that rest of the week where I'll be working, and then I will stay the weekend until the Monday, and then fly home, and then we're back at the grind again on Tuesday. But these are the things, like, you know, there's
Yeah.
gonna be no time to be tired. There's gonna be, you know, just life is good. Life is
It
good.
is.
I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I can't wait to see how things go over the next week, just to watch, just to let people know who are following the show and pay attention every single week. Number one, we want you to subscribe and like the show. So if right now, if you hear me say that, do it right now. Subscribe and like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we will take 1 week off from the show while Nicole's back in New York. I have a son who's getting married, so we're both of us are extremely busy. And then we will be back though, so you're only going to miss 1 week of shows. Otherwise, we're going to continue rolling, and then we'll find out how New York and everything went with you, and you come back. But it's going to be an exciting time. I'm glad. I'm glad. I was going to ask her, you taking your younger one just so she could see
Yeah.
her sister too. Good for
Of
you.
course.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, all right.
100%.
So,
And
okay,
again,
how
wait,
was that?
my
Yeah,
mug.
I
My
love the mug.
mug. Email if you're interested, and if you want one, we will ship it out.
That is
Thinking,
cool.
yeah, I think $25. And then
Perfect.
there's an autograph version too. So
Oh,
I don't know. Email if you're interested. I love
yeah.
them. John, thank you so
Yeah.
much. I love it. I'm
I
in
always
love with
like
it.
when you hold it up because it matches the screen perfectly.
Hmm.
It matches everything that we do.
So good.
Um, do you have a product you want to talk about? I know
I
you have.
do.
Okay.
I have a product, and it's from Trader Joe's. Shocker. But I bought the entire line. You're welcome. I bought it because the I bought everything they had because I swear to you, buying
Yeah.
all of it cost what it would have the same price as it would have cost to buy one product at Sephora. So this is the Trader Joe's organic argan oil. I
Okay.
mean, anybody that's used argan oil, and if you haven't, you need to. This $12.50 from Trader Joe's. Um, it's so magical. It's so beautiful. I put it on and it feels like velvet. I wish it was in a big, huge thing. I would swim in it if I could. You put this on and you can feel like how deep it goes, and you feel like your skin is so thick and supple, and like it's just truly amazing. One of the best buys I think I've gotten from there so far. And argan oil is pricey. It's really, really pricey. You can put this on your hair. I put it all over my skin, and it just it's not super oily or greasy. It really soaks in and really like plumps up your skin, and just it makes it feel fantastic, at least for me. So I say for the $12.50, give this a shot, especially if you have dry areas or, rough skin or dry hair. Give it a shot. You
Good
can't beat
deal.
that price. Yeah.
Good deal. All
So
right.
I was
Want to
driving
ask?
by Portos. Oh, go ahead. What?
No, no, no. Finish what you're saying. Finish what you're saying.
Well, I drove by Portos today after carpool. I did carpool this morning.
Okay.
Um, and there if anybody who knows Porto's Bakery knows like how crowded and what a line there is out there, right? And so the delivery guys, I mean, they have this down. They're directly across the street and they've got those little like fold up stools all lined up against the wall where there's shade. And they all sit there. They were out there this morning at 7:30 when I was driving, and they're waiting for those orders to come in. And it reminded me of so my daughter, she likes to spend a lot of money on products.
Yeah.
Both of them do, but Dylan, she works and she can buy her own. Keegan is always asking me for stuff. So one day it was a weekend and it was really slow. It was post pandemic. Um and I signed up for, I forget, it was like DoorDash or something like that.
Okay.
And I said, you want to see what it feels like to earn money and how much money you make. And then once you make that money, what you do with it, right? And these are like priceless lessons that you can do with your kids. So easy. So I signed up. Come to find out, like that day we signed up, there was no option to go deliver. It was all full. People had already taken all the slots, whatever. Well, the next day it popped up and it was like, oh, do you want to do this delivery? So I was like, Keegan, put your shoes on. Let's go. And she was so into it, right?
Yeah.
So we went and we did the delivery. It's not that easy. It's a little bit
Yeah.
like hectic. So please tip your drivers, folks. There's a reason they're doing this and
Yeah.
they're putting a lot of effort into this. So we made the delivery, you make a measly couple bucks. We did a second one. And another one popped up. We were driving home. Another one popped up. I was like, should we do it? Do you want to do it? She's like, yes. So we did another one. And then there was nothing. Like, that's all that we
Yeah.
were given, even if we wanted to do this delivery
Wow.
service, right? So I think she made a total of $25.
Okay.
So I said, what do you want to do with it? She goes, let's go to CVS. Now, she spent that $25 in like 0.2 seconds. I mean, gone like that,
But
right?
what would we have done at 13? We would have done the same damn thing. We would have spent it like that too.
Obviously, and I let her because
Yeah.
this was money
Yeah.
that she,
Exactly.
quote
Exactly.
unquote, she earned. And I said to her after she bought it, she had her little lip gloss, and I think we had to pay a couple dollars extra. I said to her, well, what if you had bills and you had to like keep your lights on, or you'd put gas in your car, because that did just cost us money in gas
Yes.
to do. And there were no deliveries. There were no more
Yeah.
options. That was as much as we were allowed to do.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, and then, she said something sarcastically, well, that really sucks. And then was like so happy with her lip gloss, and just got back in the car. But, it's good to teach them. And
Yeah.
so now she will make comments like, and this, she's a little stinker. She'll make comments like, well, yeah, I probably won't get that when I'm spending my own money.
Yeah.
You know,
It's kids.
so
That's kids.
yes, she's taking advantage of me, and yes, I
Yep.
am a sucker for it. But she has a concept now, so I just thought,
Good.
that was, it's these little life lessons that you
Yeah.
teach them, and that's
I'm
everything.
I'm all for it. I'm all with it.
Yeah.
First of all, there's a pride factor in it, and two is you realize how quickly it goes and how it works. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
It goes extremely, extremely fast. Yeah, it's amazing. I like it. That's a good life lesson. Got to ask about Orange County. I got to ask Housewives of Orange County here. It seems like, I mean, you saw the way they broke it up, where they went on two different basically trips, right? One went to La Quinta and one went to Big Bear. It
Yeah.
makes me nervous when they do that now because of what we saw with New Jersey. That's an easy way to end a show. But at the same time, I'm disappointed in a lot of the girls on the show, like a lot of them, and it's funny to say that you're disappointed in these are what these shows do. But look, I was never in your position, Nicole, where you're part of a television show. You're a part of a show that was, scripted. But to see the way they do it, where, hey, I need more attention on me, so I'm just going to come off as the meanest girl on the planet, and I almost embarrassed for them. They just the zero humanity, the making fun of people that are going through financial problems, and it bothers me. I don't know why it is, but like Emily, I'm like, God, Emily, man, you've quickly changed. Like everybody has quickly changed all of a sudden, kind of playing the Tamara card.
It's funny that you say this, because I literally was having a conversation yesterday with a producer, and some other people, and we were talking about people who put on for TV, like put things on.
Yeah.
Like she was talking about she was producing a segment where they were shooting an unnamed celebrity couple, their wedding, and they called off the wedding before, and the crew was there, and she was like, well, then we're leaving because there's no wedding. And they went through with the wedding, they just never filed the marriage certificate, just so that they could be on TV. People are crazy.
Wow.
So I was saying, it's one thing to conjure up these ideas, to sit there and like brainstorm and go, what if I did this and what if I did that, but to follow through. Okay. To
Yeah.
follow through with these actions takes a whole nother kind of beast. So like what you're saying is, people are being so mean. That's in real life. Like we're just watching it on TV, so it feels very make believe. But these are people in real life, face to face, in real time, and they have to look at each other when the cameras go down. You know, um,
Yeah.
it's real. So yeah, that takes a lot of either balls or shallowness, right? Like because you
Yeah.
just don't care. So the one thing, with the splitting of the first of all, can we talk about Tamara on What Happens Live? Like she
Yeah.
called it La Quinta. Like, girl, you're from Southern California, aren't you? Or she's not from here. She's been here long enough to know it's La
Long
Quinta.
enough. Yep.
I mean, and then her Big Bear house is beautiful. She did a great job. I love that life for her. But yes, the meanness of like deliberately splitting the group, but at least there wasn't like screaming at each other the whole time. Like
That's true.
I didn't miss that where they're, screaming at each other, but you're right. It's such division that like, what are we here for now? Right. If you're going to
Yeah.
separate places, what are we watching?
Well, it's funny thing is every one of those girls has been in a bad point at some point in the show. Like there's no, hey, I've walked in your shoes. It's none of that. Tamara lost her business a year ago. I don't even know if Tamara has the Big Bear house and has the house in Orange County. Like, didn't you guys just lose everything a year ago? And then I understand the show pays, but there are two nice houses for all of a sudden. Emily has the dork husband who didn't work. Now she doesn't work and he works. And Gina, was going through major financial problems. Now all of a sudden Gina's quick to point fingers and pay your bills. And it's just crazy. Like I understand maybe you're friends just for TV. Now you aren't even just friends for TV. It's just the viciousness to the point where the person who has the most money, Heather, is my favorite one on the show because she seems the most genuine and the nicest. And I never thought I would say that about Heather.
Yeah. And let me see something. I like Emily's husband. You called him a dork husband. I like him. He's like, Shane is probably one of my favorite on that show.
Shane likes a lot of butt stuff, though. It's kind of funny. I'm like, dude, you're on camera. Your in-laws are watching. You like a lot of butt stuff over the years, for sure.
Well, yeah. Some things should be kept private. Yeah. I do like him. I do
Kids
like
might be watching,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. They've all been in something. And Tamara, like, I don't like to count people's coins, but I think they downsized the house in Orange County, and I think you could probably get a pretty good deal in Big Bear. And she does have a podcast. She does probably do paid appearances, and I'm sure the money is not, and Eddie himself too. And I thought he got another job. I don't know. I think that they're pretty savvy when it comes to, bringing in the money. So I'm sure that they're making good decisions, but she did a great job. I was actually surprised at what a good job she did with that Big Bear house. But yes, it's getting to that icky point. Like Jersey, it really is. It's getting to that place of like, what? And Alexis isn't helping. I'm sorry. I'm sure she's lovely. But this is just not, tearing people down like Shannon and Jen. It's just, you don't stomp on people to make yourself feel better or look better or to make content. It's, these are real lives. And like you said, they've all been in the shoes. They've all walked in those shoes. Like, did you forget? Yeah.
It was pretty bad not long ago.
Or if you haven't walked in those shoes, what if this happened to you tomorrow? Would you want everybody making fun of you and laughing at you?
Yeah.
It's not nice.
No, it definitely isn't. Alexis is interesting. Number one, I don't think anyone ever thought Alexis is the smartest person on the planet. the thing that I always find fascinating is, Alexis has, 2 kids. I just saw her post on Instagram about her kids going back to school and, like every parent does. And I'm like, man, you're on TV talking about having sex 4 times a day with someone that's not their dad. I'm like, there are kids in the school, in the neighborhood that are watching the show and their parents are watching. And like, I wouldn't want to, as a kid, I wouldn't want to know anything about my parents sharing stuff like that public. I don't know why it would bother me, but I always feel bad for the kids first. I always think these kids are going to like middle school.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the price you pay when you sign up for one of these shows. And I guess what you do is if you're good enough parent, you have this conversation with them. Because in
Yeah.
junior high, they're old enough to understand the birds and the bees, let's be honest. And
Yeah.
how did you get here?
Yeah.
You got here that way. So like let's put it all into perspective. Um, but I don't know. My parents, I never like I didn't get grossed out thinking that they would have sex. That didn't gross me out at all. Like, fine, good, go get it. That doesn't bother me. So I know that it does bother a lot of a lot of kids. That's not something that like bothers me. Like I
I
want it.
still don't want to think about my parents.
Really? I don't
100%.
want to think about it in depth or whatever,
Yeah.
but it doesn't like of
Yeah.
course
I
they
just know what
do. Of
happened.
course
I don't
they
want to
do.
think about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it doesn't bother me. I don't know why, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't like freak me out. It doesn't gross me out. Whatever. Yeah, go do your thing. Um, I don't know. It's just like, let's be
But
real. Like, let's live in reality here. It happens.
all right, let me ask you a question. When you had to explain it to your kids, were you was it easy conversation, hard conversation?
Okay, so I didn't really outright explain it to my kids. They take care of that at school. So I let the school break it to them and show them the
Break it
graphics.
to 'em. Yeah. Yeah.
And work it all out, right? And then I get to ask questions when they come home after watching that.
Yeah.
Um, my kids are comfortable naked talking
Yeah.
about it. All of the gross and we
Yeah.
are fine talking about it all. Um, Mostly I felt like more importantly, my job was to talk about your menstrual cycle. And you know, I let the school tell them the gross stuff. But, like my youngest, the sex ed got, significantly more graphic from Dylan to Keegan. In
Oh,
those
really?
13 years, yes, it became very different. So I was asking Keegan, like, "How was it?" She's like, "Horrifying, horrifying." And then she's like, "And there's, like, a book with pictures." And she's like, "And legs wide open with a butthole." I lost it. I just lost it. Legs wide open with a butthole. And I thought, okay, because I would have never been that graphic.
Yeah.
I never would
Yeah.
have brought up the butt.
Yeah.
So I let the school just give it to them in the
That's
worst kind
funny.
of way. And then I smooth it over and ask the questions when they get home. But, when they get their period,
Yeah.
I feel as a mother, it's very important to then start talking about birth control because birth control can help regulate, your cycle and help it can go either way, right? So
Yeah.
my oldest, when she first started her, so she's gonna kill me if she ever hears this. Luckily, I don't think she listens. She would get her hormones would get so crazy, she would faint sometimes.
Yeah.
So, in fact, we have a story where she used to play the stand-up bass in an orchestra, and while she was, on her cycle, she fainted, and the bass in her fell back, so she
Oh,
named it
no.
Chester the Molester. Her her bass was named Chester the Molester. I'll never forget that, it's a genius. But it's that time to talk about that because also not only could it help you out with cramps, symptoms, all that, but in the worst case scenario that something bad were to happen and a male was to take advantage or push themselves on you or something like that, you're protected.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's I had to have that conversation, which the school doesn't have. So I
Yeah.
sort of let them do all the like show them the organs and all how all of the anatomy works together. I let them do that part, and then I kind of round it out with all the other things. So
There you go.
this is also important. While everybody better get out there and vote. If you're not registered, please register. If your neighbor isn't registered, help them get registered. Your family, your friends, get registered. We only have a few weeks. We have a few weeks to round everybody up, guys, and get everything going in the right direction. This is one of the most important elections, and I know they say that every time, but this really is one of the most important elections. Can you imagine Mike Keegan not being allowed to get birth control, or it not even being an option, or if somebody were to rape her, she couldn't even get an abortion? Like, can you imagine a world what that looks like? So, yeah. I don't know. The Obamas last night. Did you?
I did. I absolutely did. It's funny. I know we usually don't do a lot of political talk, but
No,
God, they were outstanding. They
they
both
were
were really,
outstanding.
really good. And I
Mhm.
have tons of friends who are on the other side who say the same thing. We just go, that's presidential. That's what that looks like right there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, I
what a
mean,
team. What
class
a
from top to
power.
bottom.
Yep,
Yep.
just
Yeah.
amazing. Just, I feel like the energy at the DNC is just it really is electrifying, and I see a lot of the other side saying, and I say the other side, I don't mean it like that. I see a lot of MAGA people saying like, "Oh, you never knew who, this person was or that person, you're just accepting it because." No, there's something that happened. When they say everything just works out the way it's supposed to, something happened. I don't think we were even looking at her to be president because it wasn't an
Mm.
option. Do people realize like you're not given the option? Like I would love Michelle Obama to be
Yeah.
president. Why not? I would love to
She
see her on
she
the
has no
ticket.
desire. You could tell
She
she
has
has
no
0 desire.
desire and it's not an option, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just we're not given that option. So it's like you have to take what you're given and you pick what you
Yeah.
relate to out of it all. But when the focus turned to Harris, it was like yes, it was like boom, like the light bulb went off and it was like this makes perfect sense. This all unfolded the way it was supposed to unfold. There's nothing better than having a woman right now of color um just come in and save the day. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what America is made of, and it's exciting.
It's interesting, and people could take whatever they want. I know we're gonna piss some people off. I don't care right now. Is Here's the deal: when you
Yeah.
look at that arena at the United Center in Chicago, and you look at the crowd, it looks like the America that I think we are. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like you're seeing all
Yes.
different color faces, you're seeing all different people out there, and you're going, "This is the melting pot we always talked about. This is what we learned in school.
Yeah.
This is the Pledge of Allegiance. This is the Star Spangled Banner. This is God Bless America. This is us. This
Yeah.
is what we look like." The crowds you see at some of these rallies are going, that's not us.
That's not
That
us.
that seems very strange to me. Anyway, I will say this: so we've come a long way, I think, in certain things. I remember in 2007, I was doing a talk show for CBS, and someone called in and asked, "Will we ever see a black president, and will we ever see a woman president in your lifetime?" And
Yeah.
this is 2007, and I said no on both. And you might see him. We saw the black president the next year. I was amazed, and then in 2024, you might see it again. And so, just completely shocked. And at the same time, it kind of feels like that the surge of energy is different. I tell you what, just as someone I do love politics, I know you kind of like to watch, and you and I talk about certain things here and there. I will say this: whoever's given advice to Donald Trump, to me, isn't doing him any favors. There's never a plan. He never sells you on the future. Like whoever's in his ear should say, you got to start selling the people in the future because that's what the other side's doing, and they got a ton of momentum. Like if we have won a chance to win this thing, we got to start selling the future and not talking about how crappy you think the past is. You got to give someone something to look forward to, and you never sell what something to look forward to.
Well, okay. Listen, I don't mind if you are for Trump or you're right wing, left wing. I don't care. Like for me, what I don't like is the aggression, right? The aggression behind it. And I feel like um I see a lot of nastiness coming from quote unquote MAGA side. Whenever I'm attacked online,
Yeah,
it's always
yeah,
every single time I've gone onto their site, it says MAGA God first. It's always the same thing in there. So it's the aggression that bothers me. I don't care if you support him and that's where you're voting. I don't think differently of you. But like we were driving yesterday and there was a car in front of us and we're stopped at the light and I'm reading the stickers, the two stickers in either side of the window. And one of them is a kid pissing on Kamala Harris' name and giving up the finger and it's pissing on it. And then the other side says, like, I don't fuck around with fucktards, something. But it was really aggressive, right?
Wow.
And I don't say anything. I'm just looking at it. I'm thinking, wow. And Keegan is sitting next to me, and then she goes, "Wow, those stickers on their car." And she's like, "Angry much?" And then we felt like we needed to see who was driving. Well, it was a woman.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you talk about somebody advising Trump, I feel like they're just running on what fuels a lot of these followers. And I'm not saying all, listen, I am not saying everybody that supports Trump is angry, this, that, but there are a lot. I see a lot of it. I see a lot of nastiness, harsh language, just unnecessary anger coming from that side. And listen, this is coming from someone who's voted both on the right and the left. I've gone
I have
back
too.
and forth in my
I
life,
have too.
and I'm open and honest about that. So I'm not like biased. Like I'm not a far leftist either. So, but I do see and I acknowledge that there's a lot of anger coming from that side. So I feel like when he does these rallies and he does his speeches, he knows what he's doing because he's feeding into that group that like that mindset and that feel comforted by that mindset and they feel like they're he's as lost and as angry as they are and it works for them. And
Yeah.
listen, I hate talking politics and I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm only stating what I see and what I'm
You're worried about your
observing.
daughters. Yeah, absolutely. You're worried
They
about the
think it's
future. You're worried about
crazy.
your daughters.
Well, they
Yeah.
think it's crazy. They're scared to death of the Project 2025. As every woman should. And, Keegan and I had this conversation driving is that this woman, we couldn't really tell at first if it was male or female. And at the end of the day, normally we don't care. We don't judge on something like that. It's just a person. And I don't know, we're just conditioned that way. We don't care. But we were trying to figure it out. And I said, well, it can't be trans because they can't,
Yeah.
excuse me, they can't be trans because there's no way they would have Trump stickers in their thing, right? And I said, but then she did look female. So
Yeah.
I'm like, a woman is just as stupid, like to be promoting for that to be our future. Did they even take the time to understand Project 2025? Are you
Yeah.
listening? Do you think you're exempt from this? They're going to take your voting rights. They're going to take your every right away from you. You are not exempt. How are you supporting this? It's just, I don't know. It's wild. And that's the conversation we had in the car. Wild.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is hard to tell to see who would pick what side. I have a few friends of mine who are gay but love to hunt, love their guns, So he's getting their vote and they're gay, even though you're hearing about reversing gay marriage. Doesn't matter. That's the way those and they're women. I don't know if that makes a difference, but that's the way they're going. It doesn't one of those things. So here I am. I'm one of those where I'm kind of just be honest in my house. I just stay really quiet, and and in my neighborhood I stay really quiet. People want to keep sending me stuff all the time, and I just go, why? Stop sending me stuff. You aren't going to change
Yeah.
my side. I already know what I'm doing in November, so
Yeah.
stop. I'm
Me
not
too.
going to try and get you to change, but a lot of people are just wearing me out over these next 11 weeks are going to be interesting to see. But going back to your original point, the energy has been incredible to watch in Chicago over the last few days for sure.
Really
It's been
incredible.
really
Well,
something
but I
else.
want to circle back to what you said too, because as far as guns go, I like to shoot guns. I definitely don't hunt, but I like to shoot guns. I don't want that to be taken away from me if that's what I feel like. I've taught my oldest how to shoot, and I will teach my youngest. Um, and if hunting is your thing, you should be allowed to do that. That has nothing to do with gun control. And until people can understand that and separate it, like why are you so afraid? You're more afraid to get your gun taken away than you are for your daughters to not be protected. Like, I don't get it. It's just, do you think that if we go for gun control, that every gun is going to disappear? It's not going to still be a sport? Like, are you joking? Like, let's I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's
So
be realistic.
it's funny. Probably one of my biggest hot button issues in politics, as we're all over the place on the show. But I will say, as someone who's in a high school every day, because I'm a baseball coach in the afternoon, man, school shootings drive me crazy. It's my number one pet peeve of what the fuck's wrong with this country. I just don't understand it. Like I draw the line on shooting kids. I'm sorry. When a kid goes to school to learn, and all of a sudden you see another school shooting, another school shooting. We had over 600 basically incidents like this last year in the United States. And I'm like, this is ridiculous to me.
It's out
And
of
it's something
control.
I didn't think about as a kid. But as someone who's around kids every day and I watch these kids grow up and chase their dreams once they graduate, it really, really bothers me that we have such a problem with school shootings.
Well, it's surprising to me that a lot of these MAGA supporters don't think that it's crazy that the shot that was taken at Trump.
Yeah.
How did that kid have a gun? Like now you're not thinking that gun control is important? Like you still think that's just fine? How did he get past, reports are coming out that they tagged him as being suspicious anyways when he was walking around. They really did a poor job of protecting
Sure
Trump.
did.
That it's disgraceful that
Yeah.
they really just let that guy have at it.
Yeah.
But he's a young guy with a gun.
He
Like,
registered Republican too.
yeah, do you not see do
Yeah.
you not see where gun control can come in
Yeah.
handy?
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree on all that. All right, let's get to the mailbag. We're going to finish the show a little bit lighter. Perfectlytwistedpod.com. That's the website right there. You'll see the mailbag at the top of the screen. You have a question for Nicole, we'll get those on for you. So Nicole, we're going to fire through 5 questions. Emily, nice enough to send them in. And Emily, I'll tell you right now, we're going to get 4 questions because somehow I just lost question number 1. I apologize. I will find that question and get it back on you. Okay, so here we go. Nicole, would you ever do Dancing with the Stars?
Oh my gosh, this comes up all the time. I have 2 left feet. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's a trick
it's
knee.
not
Didn't you guys
even
hear?
really. Huh? What?
I said she has a trick knee. Didn't everybody hear?
Yeah, right. Yeah, now, today, right now, I don't know that I'd physically be able to do it. Actually, I think I can dance fine and I can keep to the rhythm fine. My problem is having the recollection to do the routine. Like my daughter tries to get me to do little TikTok dances that are super short and look super easy. I can't remember at all. Like she does it
Yeah.
once and I'm like, I forgot it. Like I can't, choreography is not my jam. So that's my big worry is that I would just start like twirling around and like, going rogue because I wouldn't remember the routine.
I would love to see it. I think watching those people on Dancing with the Stars, it seems like they put tons of time, like 8-hour days
Oh,
into it. It seems
it's
like a ton.
really long
Yeah.
hours, which I would love to do to like get in shape and to learn
Yeah.
something new. Seems fantastic. I love the idea of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally up for it, but I don't know what the reality looks like.
That'd be cool. All right. This is an interesting question because you spoke about it today. It says, Nicole, what is your favorite thing to do in New York City?
My favorite thing to do in New York City. Oh God, that's tough. Well, now that my daughter lives there, it's hanging out with her, obviously, just sitting and watching her life and following
Yeah.
her around a little bit around the city instead of me taking them places.
Yeah.
I get to say to her, like, and I get to kind of follow her around. So that's really interesting and easier and nice. And she just knows all the ins and outs and all that. But I mean, I guess eating out is amazing in New York because it's so
It
different than it
is.
is here. The transportation and walking, I love walking. So, I
Fast
love it
pace.
when it's, like, cold out and you're just
Yeah.
walking for blocks. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite things. And then, of course, I love that park right in the middle of Mayhem. I just
Yeah.
love Central Park. It's just so great. And I love what I love about New York is you jump on that train and you get off and you're in a totally different land than what you just left.
That's true.
It's you can do that here in LA too, but you drive and you park and
Yeah.
you're watching it. There you're
Yeah.
underground and then you pop up like a gopher and you're like, where am I?
That's a
So
good point.
yeah, I really love that. I love all the flavor of New York.
if for anyone listening who's never been in New York, my favorite thing to do every time I go is to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. It's like a mile. I love it. As you do the walk, you can see the Empire State Building over here. You can see the Statue of Liberty over here. I don't know. I love it. It's just it's a cool
Maybe I'll
walk, and you
do
see.
that. Maybe I'll
Have you
do
ever
that
done
for
it?
the trip.
It
I've
is a
never
lot of
done
fun.
it,
I
only
do it every
driven
time
over
I'm
it.
there. Like I go out of my way to do it every time. I love it.
You know what? That's a good
Yeah,
one because usually I'm always driving. So we drive to
yeah,
go look at, the Statue of
yeah.
Liberty. We drive. So that might be a good, fun
It is.
activity. I'm putting that
And
on the to do.
and when you get to Brooklyn, find somewhere to eat. It's great, and come back, and it's pretty cool. I don't know. It's one of my things that I do every time I'm there, just to make sure that I make time to do it. But anyway, that for me, I enjoy it, and I know you love to walk. It's an easy walk. It's basically straight, so
Yeah,
it's not a bad walk. Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm into that.
Okay.
At
Good deal.
night or
All right.
daytime? At night, right?
Well, you could do it either way. Daytime is usually when I've done it in the past, but I've done it at night once, and then went across, and then went to where the World Trade Center was, and that was tough. Like I've only done that one time. I won't go back. It was too emotional. It's hard. And anyone that's ever been, they encourage you to touch the names. They have all the names there, and a lot of places will say don't touch things like a museum. This is one of those where they encourage you touch as many names as you can, and it's really really hard. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's worth seeing for me one time. I know people that go every time they go, but it just takes a ton out of me. It's just really emotional, you know. Next question, Nicole. What's the best beach in California for vacationers to go to?
Well, Dave would say San Diego.
That's not true. I'm a Santa Monica guy. I love Santa Monica. It's my childhood.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, Santa Monica, not for me, not it.
yeah,
Um, I think Laguna Beach. Laguna
yeah.
Beach is pretty fantastic, pretty magical, beautiful. A good depiction of like a Southern California beach. Was the question Southern California or just California?
I think it. Let me go back. Hold on. So I got two different screens. It says best beach in California.
Okay, so I would say in Southern California, Laguna has got it going on. Gorgeous,
It
beautiful,
is.
love it.
Good
If
choice.
you go to Northern California, I really love Monterey and up at
Yeah,
that area. Totally different and
it
different
is.
vibe, but also equally just gorgeous and beautiful and breathtaking. Um, so either the tip, the north or the south. That's where it's I mean, all the beaches are beautiful. Listen,
Yeah.
I love California. I love living near this gorgeousness. But yeah, when you go to either tip, you're hitting gold.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Just so people who've never been to California, Southern California is going to be warmer. You're going to be definitely
It's
much colder
warmer,
in
the
Northern
water's
California.
warmer. Yes.
Yes.
But when you
Even
get
when
up
you
into
get it.
the colder region, it's a
Yeah.
different vibe, right? Like it's more
Yeah.
cliffs, bigger waves, more clear water, a lot more
Yeah.
kelp. Um, it's just very different. It's
Yeah.
and then Southern California is more like white sandy beaches, surfing, yeah, flip-flops, that kind of
Yeah.
vibe. So yeah, very different.
Last question. It says, Nicole, have you ever surfed? Kind of funny you just brought that up.
Yes, many times. It's funny. I was good friends with a girl who was surfing too, and we surfed together a number of times. And one time her board flipped over and the fin just sliced the bottom of her foot,
Ooh.
like sliced it good. And it freaked me out. It
Yeah.
freaked me out. After that, I was like, no, this is not no. Like I don't want that happening at all. But I do have like a longboard for the girls, for my kids.
Okay.
And Keegan wants to get on it, so we're gonna be doing that soon. And it's less dangerous. Obviously,
Yeah.
longboarding is easier than shortboard surfing. But yes, I did, and I like it. I should have started earlier when I had more guts.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
yeah,
I
it's
wish
a
I would
fun
have picked it
sport.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I get it. I get why people are out there when the sun
Yeah.
comes up and while they're doing it, and it's just there's a peace. I can go out there and sit on a board and not even surf, just like hang
Yeah.
out in the waves. There's something
Yeah.
so incredibly spiritual and just magical about that. Just being
Yeah.
out there floating is just life changing.
Absolutely. Emily, appreciate the questions again. I will find your missing question. I apologize. I looked at, I don't know how the hell it disappeared. I saw I had 5. I looked up and all of a sudden it was 2 through 5. So Emily, I'll make up that question for you. I'll find it. Again, if you want to send questions to Nicole, it's easy. All you do is go to perfectlytwistedpod.com, look for the mailbag, and submit your questions. We'll get them on there. Piece of
Thanks,
cake.
guys. Thanks, Emily.
There you go.
See ya.